Okay, we're going to begin. So, welcome everyone to Mind the Moment's morning meditation practice. I am Christine O'Shaughnessy, and I am covering for Tara Healy today. Happy to be here, and thank you all for taking the time to join. As you know, this is a place where we can all gather and collect and practice in community together. So today we're going to start with a question. Happy to have people respond in the chat, kind of what they're feeling about the question. We'll do about a 12-minute practice, and then we'll leave time for individuals to respond to how the practice was for them today. So let's begin with the question, which I'm going to type in the chat box too. So for those that join after I state it, everybody will be able to respond. All right, question. Okay, so the question, which I will explain, is what needs need to be met for you today? And I'm going to explain this by starting with a quote, and this is from Oren Sofer. We are each responsible for our actions and our reactions. Remember that our feelings are a function of our needs. To take responsibility for my reactions means training my mind to trace emotions back to the needs from which they arise. Every time my attention goes outward to blaming someone else, to judging, to criticizing to my inner critic a negative narrative, I can pause and investigate. Is this person solely responsible for my reaction? What meaning am I making about this event? And if we put blame or another circumstance or situation on somebody else, Oren Sofer also says, if you are the cause of my emotions, you have power and I remain helpless. When we understand feelings as a function of needs, rather than the direct result of another person's actions, we reclaim our autonomy and our agency and our sense of freedom. So this is looking at our conditioning and looking at it in a different lens of awareness. What is it that you notice when you're having a feeling, an emotional response? I'm going to invite you to come back and think about what maybe needs to be met for me around this or isn't being met for me around this. So needs are, maybe we're feeling frustrated at work and the need is that we need more rejuvenation time, rest, joy, laughter, spontaneity. Maybe we're looking for more creativity, or there's a column for needs called to matter, our sense of connection, sense of self, appreciation, community, belonging, tenderness, warmth. These are all needs that we have. Or needs, if we notice that we have a mind that tends to worry or fast forward into the future a lot, or is apprehensive, maybe the need for order and stability, safety and trust is one of the needs that isn't being met right now. So as you reflect on that, I'm curious, what needs need to be met for you today? If you just think about, how am I feeling today? And what needs do I need to meet for myself today? Maybe it's really good self-care by being here today. Maybe it's something else. So yes, thank you, Teresa. So the quote is from Oren Sofer's book, Say What You Mean. And by Oren Sofer. And it's, I could type it, but it would take some time. So let's, what I'll do is I'll send it to John. He's on vacation, but maybe he can send it out to all the attendees when he returns. But if you want to get the book, the quote's on page 148. I love this. Yeah, Heather. Yeah, sometimes I need a reminder for myself too. Need a reminder. Lisa, thank you. Accepting what I cannot change or fix. Yes. Yeah. For me, a frequent need that comes up is that need for rejuvenation, joy, humor, laughter, play, right? Really just resting back in some freedom away from all the doing, planning, working. I love my work, but taking time for myself, good self-care. It's a need that I find when I'm in an emotional response or I'm getting frustrated and it's going outward towards, say, my kids. I'm like, okay, I need to take some time for myself. Anyone else? Loretta, I need to have people listen to my boss life. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So it's being heard, to be heard. Yeah, or to be understood. Yeah, yeah, you can't share with anyone. Rejuvenation for me too. Yeah, thanks, Janice. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad this relates to some of you. You know, this is our human conditioning. We all have needs that need to be met. And there are needs that, some needs we can't live without: rest, sleep, water, food, shelter. Universal human needs. We all have them. But many of us haven't been taught or conditioned to think about when we are having an emotional response that there's actually a need that's not being met for us. So another quote that I love by Orrin is he says, when our needs are met, we experience positive emotions. And when our needs are not met, we experience unpleasant emotions. So I'm going to invite you for today and the rest of this week and the weekend. Every time you notice you're having a response or you're just feeling off in some way, there's a feeling tone, frustration or just discomfort, restlessness, trace it back to, what is the need that's not being met for me right now? And Susan, yes, I can't demand unconditional love, but I can model it. Right, right. And accepting, right? This is the way it is right now. We aren't in control of other people's responses and reactions, but we can control our own. And we can see it from a lens of awareness. And Colleen, yes, I need more social connection. Yeah, I feel that way too. That goes with kind of my rest, rejuvenation, play, is reconnecting with friends. Every week, I try to reconnect with someone I haven't seen in a while over the summer, whether I go for a walk, a phone call, get together for a cup of coffee. It's been wonderful. And yes, we all need to belong, right? When we don't feel like we fit in or belong, there's a response there for some of us. Yeah, these are wonderful, wonderful responses. So sometimes there's also the need of recognition, mutual recognition. And in terms of work, we can have needs that we need met in terms of resources. We need more resources, more time. We need more structure and training and equipment. Those are actual needs. We may not have all the tools we need to do our job, or we may need another person to share that role with us because the workload's beyond your capacity to be able to complete it. So needs in terms of work are also something to really look at and see what's your response to that. Okay, so we're going to do a practice around this, just settling in to the feeling tones in the body. What are you feeling? What emotions are just underlying the surface? And if nothing's there, that's okay. We're going to stay with the feeling tones in the body. But if you notice there's some type of emotion, I'm going to invite you to trace that back to your needs. And sometimes there may be an actual event that triggered it, triggered the emotional response. And now you're going to think about, what needs not being met for me in this? Okay. And yes, Hermina, I hope I said that right. I need peace of mind. I'm tired of struggling. Yeah, I too feel that way sometimes. And I hear that a lot from my clients I work with. This constant push, striving, struggling. So I'm going to invite you to rest into that. Notice the feeling tone of struggle in the body. What does that feel like? Okay. And we're going to begin. So getting comfortable in your seat, or you are welcome to stand. If you're at home, you're welcome to lie down as long as you're not falling asleep. We can practice in any posture. The object of the practice is that we maintain an awake, aware mind. So deciding what posture you would like to practice in today, and let's begin. All right, getting comfortable in your seat, feeling your feet connecting to the floor, feeling your whole body sitting here, and inviting in a few rounds of deep breath, breathing in through your nose, and as you exhale, blowing out through the mouth, like you're blowing through a straw. Inviting in another deep, full, nourishing breath, and as you exhale, blowing out the air, inviting your shoulders to soften, feeling your jaw begin to release. And taking another deep, full, nourishing breath in. And exhaling, releasing, relaxing, letting go of anything that you're holding on to from your morning's activities. And then releasing that deep breathing technique and begin to rest in the natural rhythm of your breath, allowing your breath to be at ease. Connecting with a sense of gravity, a weightedness in the body. Or if you prefer, you can pay attention to a touch point like your feet, sensations in the feet, or paying attention and staying connected to your hands, noticing where your hands are connecting to a surface, feeling sensations of warmth or coolness in the hands, feeling the tips of your fingers. Or noticing and paying attention to where your lips meet. Are the lips gripping or soft? And as you rest in the breath or a touch point, begin to just notice the feeling tones in the body. Notice what you feel. You may notice physical sensations of ease or calm, or maybe adrenaline moving through the body, a heaviness or a lightness. exhaustion or fatigue, or alertness, clarity, energy. And as you notice those feeling tones in the body, notice what's on the mind. Is there an emotion related to that feeling tone in the body? Maybe there's overwhelm, frustration, maybe we're mad about something, maybe there's joy, worry, apprehension, jealousy, maybe some sadness or a sense of loss. Allow whatever's there to be there, honoring it, witnessing it, and noticing the emotion and the feeling tone. And then asking yourself, what need is not being met for me around this? Allowing the response to come from the heart, not the cognitive thinking mind. So an inner listening. Needs are not being met for me today. And noticing that, just allowing it to be there. Breathing in, allowing, breathing out, accepting. Giving yourself permission to feel what you feel. Breathing in, allowing, breathing out, accepting. What is, is. And observing the feeling tones and the physical sensations or responses in the body, allowing them to come and go. And if the mind goes into thought around this or a story, gently drop the storyline and return to the meditation object of your choice, touch point or a breath. And being kind to yourself in this moment. May I be kind to myself in this moment. This is a moment of feeling. Acknowledge whatever it is that you're feeling. May I rest in ease and in kindness towards myself. Returning to the feeling tones in the body, noticing what is arising right now. Trace it back to the needs from which it arises. And then beginning to invite your attention to come back to feeling your feet, back to the body, beginning to open to sound, noticing internal or external sounds, and then coming back to the sound of the bells. And when you're ready, coming back, allowing your eyes to open if they were closed, moving in whatever way feels supportive for you, stretching your arms up overhead or gently twisting from side to side in your chair. So I'm curious, how did that feel? Any observations, comments, anything anyone would like to share? I know it's a new way for some of you thinking about emotions and feeling tones in terms of needs, and it takes some practice. So I hope that practice was supportive, beneficial for you today. Okay. And I have a little bit of time. I'm gonna type part of that quote in the chat box. Okay. That's the beginning. Oops, sorry, I have a typo in there. That's the first part of the quote. So that'll give you something just to mull on today. It's a great quote to write on a post-it and keep it on your computer so that whenever you notice that you're having a reaction to something, you're going to go, okay, right, remember, I'm feeling this way because there's a need not being met for me. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you. I'm glad this was helpful. Yes, and Susan, that's the benefit of the practice, right? It diffuses whatever the response is. For me, when I notice I'm caught in reactivity, and as I'm have in conversation with others, sometimes the conversation can allow me to get more revved up as I'm talking about whatever it is until I pause and recognize the emotion and then go, okay, what needs not being met for me around this? So, and for me, a big one's being heard, being heard. And some of this is conditioned. It's old stuff. I grew up in a family of five and I'm the youngest. So being heard really didn't happen. So that's one of the needs that's really important to me in life. And I notice when that comes up for me and I trace it back. Okay, here's the emotion. Oh, right. This is, I don't feel heard again. So it kind of works like that. And once you get once you get used to it, it's like an ebb and flow. It just happens all the time. You realize, okay, I'm having a response here. What's the need? Oh, right, it's that again. Always invite in humor too when you can. Humor is a wonderful way to deactivate the response in the mind and to see, oh, right, this is just my old conditioning. Another quote from Orrin: our conditioning to blame others for our feelings is just as tenacious as grass to a plant in a garden. It's a way of seeing that's deeply embedded in our minds. That's all it is. All right. So, with that, I'm going to sign off. Oh, I'm so glad this was really empowering for you. Yeah, really recommend Oren's book. He has a whole needs list in there. So you can use that. I keep the needs list by me when I was starting this whole way of training, kept it on my desk every single day for months. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here, taking the time to be here, dedicating self care to yourself and practicing. Tara will be back next week. Um, and that's it. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. Bye.